The people who did this Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were good people.
Hey, like this!
And it's a good place. Here we are in the middle of it, right up on the mountain. If this son of a bitch wants to bitch about his cows over here and shoot at me, well, it's our country. It's not theirs. It's not a bunch of used car dealers from Southern California. Democracy, you have to be a player.
As a filmmaker, you naturally have a certain aesthetic standard. One tends to see scenically. A certain landscape in the sunset, a fast food restaurant at night, in the neon light let your fingers unwantedly form a small rectangle. In the head one imagines a certain image. Film is more than just a picture of reality. Ansel Adams explains in The Negative that our eyes see differently than the film in the camera. In my view, however, this is more of a blessing than a curse. It offers the opportunity to expand the perceived reality, of course, without falsifying it. If you adjust colors, light and framing in a certain way, surreal scenes can be created that can reinforce a certain mood that a place inherently has. Like the tonic water in a good gin tonic is just there to bring out the taste of the gin better. As a filmmaker, I want to try to give up a certain holistic claim in order to turn the limitations that the film as a time-based medium brings with it into a tool. For example, it can be a blessing to work if you do not have an anamorphic lens with the narrower aspect ratio of a normal lens. A narrower image gives me the opportunity to choose even more selectively what I want to show and what not. For example, for my bachelor thesis, I shot a scene in a saloon. Once there, my two performers were completely surprised. They noticed the numerous inevitable modern elements in the bar that did not match the intended historical setting. Through deliberately chosen close-ups, however, it was possible to identify the location unmistakably as a saloon without seeing the modern elements. At the same time, the perspectives were chosen in such a way that you don't even notice that there are no extras in the scene at all. The saloon is basically empty. In one of his essays, Jean Baudrillard explains that everything is cinematic. In his text, he refers to the USA, especially the suburbs, where he sees everything as cinematic. And he's certainly right. Look only at Paris, Texas or Twin Peaks to see how much the place contributes to the film. If you capture the essence and mood that a place has in itself, aesthetically through framing, light, perspective, blocking, etc., every place can be cinematic. And that is exactly why, as a filmmaker, I am more interested in seeing what a place or a person can be. I'm interested in this approach, which gives works like Paris, Texas, Twin Peaks, or Only God Forgives, or the films by Wong Kar-wai, their magical realism. Much more than a pure, sober observation in which the camera tries to replace the human eye. Zdzislaw Beksinski already recognized in his essay in 1958 called The Crisis in Photography and the Prospect of Overcoming It, photography's claim to naturalism as its illness. The same applies to the film. This is not to say that I want to devalue a sober point of view. It is exactly what gives the films by Michael Haneke their disturbing effect. But the important thing is that the view through the camera complements or reinforces the view of the world, but does not falsify it, as Haneke himself explained in an interview.
Zeigen darf. Man soll sozusagen nicht lügen, nicht manipulieren. Also das ist eigentlich für mich so die Grenze des. Also wenn man Tricks verwendet, und man verwendet immer Tricks, wenn man dramaturgische Tricks, sollte man sie durchschaubar machen. Das ist aber mehr, das ist ein ästhetisches Problem.
If everything in the filmic world of Wes Anderson is symmetrical, then this is an exaggeration of patterns that fascinate him in the real world, but not a pattern that actually exists in this form in the real world. The limits of the film can be turned into an art form if you become aware of it. The film may be spatially limited, so you can only view the two-dimensional image section chosen by the filmmaker. However, viewing film as two-dimensional is wrong in that the film has the third dimension of time. The ability to create an image composition and to direct the viewer's eye distinguishes film from photography and is essentially what makes it so vivid. I see the world through a lens. How can I capture what it doesn't reveal to the eye? And this is where we have to admit that there is something inherently special to what we call Americana. But why is that? Jack Kerouac, author of the very American classic On the Road, explains in an unpublished essay from 1946 that some of the virtues of the United States are to be found in its American way being a deep opposition to the European one, its industry, namely the mass production of automobiles and planes, and its cultural youth. This already inspires a certain image of Americana. Other associations might be the landscapes and the people. Author Thomas Pynchon puts color in the picture. In Gravity's Rainbow, he describes the old America as yellow American deserts, red Indians, blue sky, green cactus. While certainly not politically correct, this is an interesting color palette associated with the US-American perception of Americana. Blue jeans, leather jackets, flannel shirts, 50s diners and cars, pickups, the desert, native memorabilia. All this is Americana.